Let's play with paper clips. I'm Kathleen. You found me at Creative Solace Studios. I'm this month's guest collaborator for Junk Journal Madness, and this is the journal that I'm collaborating with Susan over at I Certainly Love It. The last video that I did about this journal, I've got a whole stash of videos about it, is about this junk journal jewelry. You can check that out. The next video after this will be a flip through, and Susan, if you head over to I Certainly Love It, you can find out all the good creative stuff that she's doing with the same theme, which is cornucopia of gratitude, and her style and techniques and fun projects that she's doing with a similar journal. Today my journaling project is about altered paper clips. I have two paper clips that are holding things in this little journal, and I'd like to alter them. I'll be showing 3 different ways to do that. First with fibers, second with trinkets, and third with paper. Thanks for following along and following us on Instagram as well. Let's start with the easiest. The easiest, I've always wanted to do this and I finally did it. Can you see what it is? It is a bread bag tie, a twisty tie. So all I did was take a paper clip and twist it around. You do have to twist it pretty tight so it doesn't slide from side to side, but look how fun. Junk journals can be all about recycled materials like this tea packet in here. And then you can use something like this to clip on wherever you might want to in your journal. Easiest one right there. You could put a bead on there or something else on here, or you could leave it like that. I'm really enjoying the look of this altered paper clip with a simple bread tie on it, twisty tie. So there's that. Then think about what other kinds of fibers, yarn, ribbon, trim, whatever you might have on hand, lace, and basically you can tie it onto the top of the paper clip. The part of the paper clip that you want to clip onto something is this part right down here. So we're going to leave this part free from anything and tie some things at the top. These were tied just in a double knot. When you tie something in a double knot, it kind of separates in the middle. So I'm going to take an extra one, the gold trim, fold it in half and find the middle of it. And I want to try to fill in this middle portion where the knot has kind of separated the fibers. So I have looped it through the paper clip in the middle. Instead of tying a double knot where they're separate, I've got these 2 tails together, and I'm now putting them through that center loop and pulling it tight. I did that same thing with this lace, especially because it was thicker. It helps to alter something that way. Then when I use fibers, I oftentimes like to knot the ends, both to help it from unraveling and to give it a decorative touch on there. You could put a bead on here and then another knot, or you can leave it just as is. I'm trying to go simple on these first ones and show you some easy things that don't take a lot. And it's just fun to have a little fluffy excitement sticking out of your journal. When you put these paper clips in your journal, you can choose to have them hold specific things, like maybe a page or a pocket or a tag that you want clipped into the journal, or you could have them just decoratively on the top of the page. I'm going to save mine till later and decide which ones I actually want to use. Here's another example with trim and a ribbon. Instead of doing these knots at the end, I also like fray check because it stops things from unraveling. Now let's choose a colored paper clip and do one more quick fiber idea. This one is not even going to use a knot. I am putting this elastic ribbon through the top of the paper clip, evening it out, kind of smoothing it. I'm literally going to use a staple on this one. Of course, you can use glue or hot glue. You could sew it, but I want to show you for these first ones how easy it is to do things without fancy materials. I want to be careful not to get my staple into the paper clip though. Don't want to be stapling your actual paper clip. But I do want it close to it so that it can keep it secure in there. Then you can leave that staple visible, or you can cover it with something, such as a little decorative piece of lace. This time I will use a touch of Gorilla Glue. And leading into our second portion of this video, after the fibers, we'll be using some trinkets, such as these mini buttons. Trinkets are easy to find at thrift stores, secondhand stores, broken jewelry, and other objects. Now let's find a fun treasure to put with this lace one. I was thinking one of these shrink plastic charms. It would make a good decoration on there. I think I like that gold behind the Thunderbird. So those are some easy ideas for the fibers. Let's move more into the trinkets now, such as these replica coins. I'm still staying easy and not complex. All I'm doing is lots of glue, on the top of the paper clip. I think I'll put a paper underneath it in case I am messy with that glue. And matching one up on the other side. Then I'll let the glue set. I'll try doing the same thing with this charm that fortunately is flat on the back. And one more with the button. I do have another button, so I will match it up on the back as well. Which one should we use? These colors seem to go with the junk journal that I've been making. I don't know if I'm going to use this particular one in the journal, but it's nice to have it match. While these were drying, I found a wooden decorative piece, the sun, and decided that we needed to make one with a bigger paper clip as well. I'll put something on the back of these two that don't have backs with paper, which will lead us into step 3, which is making altered paper clips with paper. Well, let's make a hidden paper clip. Before starting on the hidden paper clip, while I was taking out my paper, I decided to use this bright pop of green. I could have pulled out a circle punch or a stencil, but I'm freehanding a little cardstock circle to go on the back of the sun. All right, adding a scrapbook image of a star. And once we have started with the paper, let's progress to topic number 3, the paper clips. Here's what our altered paper clips are looking like so far. Do you have a favorite? They can be super easy and effective, colorful, fun, and eclectic, unique, one-of-a-kind creations for your junk journal, going from the easiest twisty tie, which I still love, to the fibers. That one's getting a little wild, like a little spider there, to the trinkets that are on these moving into the paper. So don't leave me yet. We've got one more last paper clip to finish our video out with a shebang. We can't do a whole junk journal. If you haven't seen the other videos, I've been making a bunch of videos about this junk journal without doing a single rubber stamp in it. I haven't done any stamping in there yet. So let's finish out this last step in types of altered paper clips with a hidden paper clip. Where is the paper clip? Do you see it anywhere? Where'd it go? Ah! And let's add a stamp onto the one that we're doing. The hidden paper clip is indeed hidden underneath those papers. I don't know, do you think it's in there? Let's test it out. Sliding it onto this piece of cardstock. Let's see what happens when it goes on here. Will it go? Will it go? There it is. And there's a paper clip underneath there somewhere. Let's find out where. To make the altered paper clip, you need paper. I'm just doing something a little bit more involved here with using the rubber stamp, but you could take any kind of paper that you want. I'm folding this in half, creasing that fold before I do some stamping on it, and I'm choosing one of my paper clips. I'm going to choose one of a color that I'm not that excited about because it's going to be hidden. Remember, we're not going to see it. So small loop pointing down, and I want to make sure that this paper is going to be folded like that, is going to be big enough for the paper clip. You could probably do it on a piece of paper of that size, but I'm doing mine a little bit bigger because I wanted to do some rubber stamping. The type of rubber stamping I'm doing is like a collage stamp. I love the tail of this fun mermaid butterfly creature. I oftentimes like to use just part of a stamp, maybe repeat it, maybe not have the whole stamp showing. And this time, if it hasn't dried enough, let's see if we can do some embossing on it too. Here's some distress powder. Getting my ink pad out of the way. I'm not being very precise about this. I'm going fast because I waited a little bit and that ink might be drying. I want to get the embossing powder adhering to the stamps. I missed some up there. Notice I have a paper underneath here protecting my work surface and being able to collect that powder again afterwards. I'll do the same thing later on the other side of this. I'm taking out the trusty heat tool, turning it on, and I'll meet you back when the noise is done. It's just giving a nice dusty grunge look to that stamp, and now I'll do the other side. So what does this have to do with an altered paper clip, you say? I am now taking a second paper. It does not have to be the same color because it's not going to be seen. It is nice to have it in cardstock though, because it is nice and sturdy, and that's a quality you will need for the hidden paper clip. I am positioning the paper clip on the fold of the smaller paper and leaving it sticking up a bit at the top. I'm going to then cut my second paper, the one underneath, so it's a bit larger than the first one. So you can see, matching the folded side with the folded side of the other one, up like that, and leaving a border around it. It doesn't really need as a border at all parts of it, but I think it hides better in there. The paper clip is going to go through a little slot in the crease in the fold of the bigger paper, or the second paper. I am not measuring the exact center point of it. Sorry, Dad. My dad was a math teacher. But I am making sure that my ruler is lined up with that fold, and I am using a craft knife. So approximately in the middle of it, hopefully approximately the size that a paper clip can fit through. Did it cut? Nope, it didn't cut all the way. Let me pay more attention and do it again. I was trying not to scar my cutting board underneath because it's a inexpensive small cutting board, and I have made scratch marks on it before by cutting too deeply. So there's a hole in there now, a slot. Paper clip is going through there, so it's not hidden yet. You can see it there. You can adjust to get it centered. You could trim off sides a little bit to get it centered. This is a big one. I could always make this smaller, but I kind of wanted it to be a showy one, but it's looking big right now. So I am gonna trim the sides a bit. You probably can't tell too much, but I did take a little off the sides. And I should also mention that this is double-sided, something that you'll be able to see from both sides. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same on both sides. You can have whatever you want in there. Now for the glue. Use a lot of glue on the paper that is going to be inside, that the paper clip is currently attached to. I'm going on all sides of the paper clip. I could try some in the middle, but it doesn't really go in there too well. Whatever kind of glue you have, but use a lot of it. And same thing on the other side. Then positioning it back into that slot before the glue dries, pressing it down all around it, especially up close to that paper clip, because paper clips are three-dimensional and bumpy, and we want to feel through that paper to make sure that it's getting stuck where we want it to stick. And the paper clip has its little secretive spot in there. Grab yourself a ribbon, a trim, a fiber, loop it through the paper clip, and I'm going to tie it into a double knot. You could do the double knot after the next step, but I'm gonna do it right now so you can have a visual of where we're going with this. We're making a decoration on the top, and this fun fiber decoration is going to help us with the disguise of hiding that little paper clip. The way it will happen is we will now put the paper clip down onto the table, push down, and voila, where did that paper clip go? You can imagine the fuzzier, where's my other one here? You can imagine the fuzzier of a yarn you might have up there, or the thicker of a ribbon, then it can hide the paper clip in different ways. Did it do its job? I'm not sure. Did we glue the whole thing shut? I hope not. Check in there, make sure that the whole thing isn't glued shut, but that the two papers are glued to each other so it separates like that. Let's test it out before going any further. Imagine this cardstock as a page of your journal. We're taking that open part, sliding it in there. You got it. The paper clip is hidden, and it's a cute decorative element for your journal, for your planner, for a bookmark, whatever you want. You could really go crazy and come up with all kinds of designs to do with this. I'm gonna keep playing with it a little bit more. Here's some pretty glitter paper that a friend gave me for my birthday. Thanks, Carol. This is your paper. I like it because it's a smooth glitter paper. I've had other glitter papers that are so bumpy that they're hard to cut through, but this is a thin glitter paper with the actual sparkles in it. I put 2 of them there. I'm cutting out 2 hearts because I am wanting to have one on each side of this. I'll adjust the shape of it a little bit. And I'm attaching it to a white paper so it has a nice white border behind it before putting it onto the green background. These are just fun decorative touches, which definitely could have been done beforehand. I just got excited about putting it together and am doing it afterwards, but it would be easier beforehand, especially because that paper clip is bumpy underneath there. I felt that it needed a contrasting black paper at the bottom here. I'm getting a little detailed with decorating this after I've glued the paper clip in there. That's not the way that I would recommend doing things, but if you're inspired after it's put together to do something like that, by all means, it's your project. Play with your paper clips. I'll glue the other side and then I will recap the steps for you. Okay, so this one got a little extra with some Stickles glitter glue. I'll set it aside to dry and recap the steps of making a hidden paper clip. I decided instead of recapping the steps to the altered paper clip here, I'd do a quick, really couple-minute video with just the basic step-by-step directions that's separate from this video because I got a little detailed and fussy in my descriptions here. I figured someone would need just the other directions as a simple refresher sometime without the extra decorating, and so you can check this second video out in the description. Wow, so many fun altered paper clips. Here are the last couple of ones that I finished up. Couldn't help doing some extra on them with the hidden paper clips. So I have gone down a rabbit hole with paper clips here. Don't you love that when you learn about one creative thing and you keep going with it? This could go in so many directions, but let's focus it back on our main task at hand, which is I'm the guest collaborator with Junk Journal Madness. So the couple of paper clips that are in this mixed media junk journal that I'm collaborating with Susan of I Turtly Love It, I would like to swap out my 2 paper clips in this journal with some of these treasures that I have made with you today. I will play around with them. Maybe I'll put a couple more decorative ones in there and let you know what I decide. Well, as things go, this was unexpected. I have used almost every single one of those altered paper clips. Unbeknownst to me, I found spots where they all seem to be needed. The two that I left out are this one, which I'm working on another journal in these colors, and so I want to save that for that project. And this one, because I forgot to add something on the back. I had mentioned I'll add some paper on there, but instead of doing that, I'll just pull out the Stickles glitter glue. I want to cover up the place where the glue is from the front side, and I'll use this just as a little decorative cover-up spot there. Catch me in the flip-through video of this Junk Journal Madness, and you can see if I decide to put this in the journal with the rest of them. But for now, let's take a look and see what has made it into the journal right now. So altered paper clips, we started with the twisty tie. I absolutely had to put this in here. Love it. I'll be doing that again. Let me know which of these you might be doing, or if you have any other inspiration that became in this video. I love knowing what other people are inspired to do from my tutorials. This one is holding together the plastic pocket, so it actually served a function there. The one that I replaced, that I had just a blank paper clip in here, is holding some tags. This is more so decorative with the coins on it, but it is holding the tag. And I looked at both sides. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't interfering with the design of whatever artwork's happening on the other side. So that one there. Then I kept going. I'm like, oh, there's another one. I love this pop of aqua color. So I matched it up with the aqua writing, put it on that page, found a spot for the lace one. I put the lace altered paper clip down farther because the lace stuck up so high, and this little mini page was located down farther. So height-wise, the lace fits in better there. What else? There's a couple more. This one I did question whether I wanted to have it covering all of the writing and the number here, but I did. I love that one. I love the colors. I love how the mixed media turned out on it, that we did it together in this video. So I found a spot for it. Then buttons. This would be fun to actually tie something through the holes in the buttons. So I see so many possibilities to do further altered paperclip explorations, and I'm having a blast. So tour is up next. The Junk Journal Mixed Media Madness flip through and tour question with all these treasures on here. The paper clips, the fiber paper clips, and the trinket paper clips. Can I still close this elastic binding on it? Carefully of that twisty tie and the lace. Is there a spot where it will fit in here? Done. Wow, what a fun project. Looking forward to looking through the whole journal next. Thank you for making altered paper clips with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.